Today we will discuss the subject principle of management. So the management is very important thing. So firstly we will discuss about the definitions of management. So when we talk about the definition of management, then the various author which gives a different definitions of management. So the first one is Mary Parker. Mary Parker said that the art of getting things done through others. When we want the things to be done, but we assign the works to the different peoples and then they done our work so properly. So that is called by the Mary Parker. So the second definition is given by F.W. Taylor. F.W. Taylor said that we have to done the work in a cheapest way or in a good way. Cheapest way here means the generating cost. We have to generate a less cost when we are getting any work. Then the third one is given by the Henry Ford. Henry Ford said that everything should be in a systematic way. So they define the management like emphasizing forecasting, planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating and controlling. These are the process through which the Henry Ford discussed the definitions of management. Okay, the second one is the function of planning. When we talk about the function of planning, then the first one is function of management, then the first one is planning. So when we talk about the planning, then we can say that this is a foundation of the function where the manager establishes goal, set the priorities and develop strategy, tactics and achieve organizational objective. Means we have to achieve one goal. So for that we have to think in advance. Thinking in advance is called a planning process. Then the second one is organizing. Organizing is something when we are implementing or executing our planning. So it is called a second process of management, or you can say that second function of management, which is very important because without executing any plan we will not go to our goal. So the next one is staffing. Now we have planned, we have executed, but how we can execute that plan? So we need the staffing. Staffing means when we are assigning a work to the different departments, to the different persons, or given them an authority and the responsibility. So that thing is called staffing. Staffing is basically giving a right work to the right people at the right time. Then the next one is directing. Directing is something when we are given directions or we are cross-checking the things done by our employee or by our team leaders. So the top level of management, what they done that they are checking the work, that is called a directing. And the last one is coordinating. Last one is controlling. Controlling is something that is you have to think that what is the actual performance, what is the desired performance. So the desired performance, you can compare the desired performance to the actual performance. That is called the controlling. So we will discuss the process and a function of management. Like we know what is the function of management, but particularly we will step by step we will explain their process. So first, the planning process. What is really the planning process? How can we plan something? So the first step is setting of objective. Setting of objective means you have to set your goal, what you want to achieve. That is called objective. Objective, or you can say that goal. What is really your goal is. Setting of goals need the examine of scenario, research, and what you really want to achieve. You have to see that. After that, developing of premises. At what resource, at what platform you really need to develop, you really need to see the process and objectives needed. So after that, the third one is identifying alternative course of actions. You know the objective. After that, you develop the premises or platform. Then the next one is alternative course of action. Action is something, activity, or something that you have to do. So this is very important. After that, evaluating alternative course of action. Now you need the resource to do that particular work. Selecting best alternative options. It means there is so many options, there is so many alternatives, but what you have to do, you have to choose the best course of action which is good for a particular goal that you want to achieve. Then implementing of that particular actions. You know what is right or wrong. Now it's time to implement that action to be real. These are the planning process. Now this next one is process of organization. So the first one is identification and division. There is so many work in the department or in a company, so we cannot give one work to one person. So we have to do the division of work. So first you have to identify the work, that a particular work is for the HR and particular work is for the finance department and particular work is for other departments. So this is called the identification and division of work. After that, departmentalization. As I said that if there is a work related to the HR, you have to give to the HR department only. So this is called the departmentalizations. And the third one is assignments and duties. Assignments and duties is like you are assigning a task to the particular person to be complete to achieving a particular goal. Then reporting relationships. Like everyone have a team leader, manager or a boss. So you have to report that manager or boss that your work has completed. Now it's time to check it. So these are the process of organizing. Third one is staffing. Staffing is something that is given right work to the right people at right time. So this includes determine your organizational goal. First, you have to examine your goal, what you really want to achieve. After that, second step is assess the current workforce. You have to see the resource required by that work is present in your company or not. Whether it is a human resource, whether it is a financial resource or any resource. So you have to assess the current workforce. After that, determine the staffing needs. Staffing needs is the recruiting process. Recruiting process means if there is a lack in human resource, you have to recruit the human for your work. So this is basically hiring of candidates for a work. Then the next one is consider external factors. Before hiring the candidate, you have to see the external factor. Means you have to hire the candidate who is good in that particular work. So these are the factors, that external factors like social factor, political factors and educational factors, all the factors you have to examine. After that you can hire the candidate. Now the next one is develop staffing strategies. When we hire anyone, so we already have some strategy that we will show to our hire candidates, that these are our strategies. Sorry, the selected one, we have to show the strategy, and according to that strategy we should work and classify their work. After that, the last one is implement and monitor. Now we assign the work to the candidate, and after that we have to monitor, we have to check that candidate that they are working in that way or not. Process of directing. Process of directing is something that for the top level of management. So first one is communicating, ensuring the clear communication to prevent misunderstandings. If there is something wrong in their work, so we can do what? We can ensure and communicate them that your work is wrong or right, or how you can do that work. After that we can motivate them to examine what they are doing wrong, and after that what we really want to achieve. Now we have leadership. Leadership is something guiding employee towards organizational objective. We know there is one goal, so to achieving that goal we have to direct our employee, we have to supervise our employee to do that work in that way. Now the supervision, overseeing tasks to ensure correct execution. If we plan something, then it is very necessary to execute that plan in a proper way. So we have to direct and motivate to our employees. This is the process of directing. Now the last one is controlling process. Controlling process is the first performance, setting the performance standard. First, if you are doing any work, you have to set the standard for that particular work. After setting of standard, you have to measure the actual performance. Actual performance means that the way you want that work to be happen. That is the actual performance. Now when we talk about the control, then we used to compare the actual performance with the standard performance. Actual performance, that is the desired performance, and after that if we talk about the desired performance, is something that is already set by the top level of management, and actual performance which is done by the employee. So we have to compare both the performance. Now the analyzing deviations. Now we have to see what is the really difference coming after the comparison of standard performance and actual performance. Then the last one is taking corrective action. The last step is, if there is any deviation, if there is any difference between the actual performance and standard performance, then we have to take a correct action to overcome that. Okay, so these are the process of controlling. Now 14th principle of management. It is very important topic, and it used to come in every exam of BBA, MBA, MCOM and BCom. So the first one is division of work. Division of work means when we used to define any work or divide the work to the different level of management or to the different employee, is called a division of work. If he is a boss, then he will divide work B, work C and work D to the different level of management. This is called the division of work. You can assign the work to the different level of management or the department so that one person cannot do everything. So this is the division of work. It is given by the Henry Fayol. So the next one is authority. Authority is something that is go hand in hand with the responsibility. If you given the authority to the one person, then you should also give the responsibility to that person. Authority means the power or responsibility means duties. So if you are assigning a work to the person, then you have to give the authority to be completed that work. Now the next one is discipline. Discipline is related to something that is how the work is going to be complete. If we see, sometimes employee used to work in a very casual way. So that is not a way of doing a work. If you are working, so you should work hard, you should work honestly in any company. So the Henry Fayol says that you have to work in a proper way or a systematic way, then only you will achieve that particular goal. Now the next one is unity of command. Unity of command means there should be one boss. If there is so many boss, then employee feels so many difficulties in reporting to their top level of management. So when we talk about the unity of command, so there should be one boss and we have to report that particular boss for our work. Unity of direction. Unity of direction means there should be one goal of every company, that we all employees have to achieve that particular goal. So if there is a one goal, then it is good to know what they have to achieve. There must be different department, there must be so many employees, but the goal should be one. Subordinates of individual interest to the general interest. Here the general interest means the employee interest. Here the individual interest means employee interest. General interest means company interest. When we are working in a company, some type of employee think that they have to achieve their goal, they are interested in their salary only. But when we are working in a company, we should have interest in achieving the goal of company as well as our interest. We should not only think about ourselves. So the Henry Fayol said that when you are going to any company, you should focus on the company growth as well as your growth. Remuneration. Remuneration is totally a kind of wages or a salary. It means that an employee is working in a particular company, so he should get a minimum wages. So Henry Fayol said that if he is working 8 hours in a company, so he should have that pay and he should gain that salary according to their timing. So the Minimum Wages Act is made for the labor class people so that they can get their salary at time or as per their work. Now the next one is centralization. Centralization means if there is one command, if there is one people who is ordering and other one is following the particular order, that is called a centralization. Every company follow, maximum company follow the centralization rule. Centralization is something that makes the work done systematically and in a proper way. Scaled chain. A scalar chain says that if employee A have some emergency that he need to talk the employee B, then he don't need to go to the C, then E, then the boss of the company, then the communication goes that way. This is the way which create a difficulties for the employee A. So they can go directly to the B. This is called also called a gang plank. Remember, the gang plank is used only in the time of emergency. If you have some emergency, you can go directly to the B employee. So this is called the scalar chain. Scalar chain is made by the Henry Ford because they understand the employee at the time of emergency. So they don't need to follow the hierarchy, but they can go directly to the particular employee and done their work. Order. Order is clearly something that is from the top level of management. Top level of management give the task to their employee and the employee follow their task. This order is called, this system is called order. Now the next one is equity. Equality. Equality or equity means we have to see every employee with an equal eye. We cannot partialate with any employee because every employee is equal in a company. So the Henry Ford made this 11th principle of management so that no one feels